I mean, I go to the backcourt. You know, you lose Ben Simmons, and you have TJ and Jared Bayless that end up with 29 points, 17 assists, and only 2 turnovers. I mean, that's a pretty good contribution from somebody that hasn't really played a point guard this year, Jared, and our backup point guard. I think that the team, we can go all over the place talking about Dario and JJ, and it's all true. But like my initial reaction was that, the replacement for Ben.
Do you think that this is the most collaborative team win that you've had this year?
I think when you look at 35 assists and you look at only 11 turnovers, and 5 of those 11 came in the first 6 minutes of the game, you'd have a chance to say that. You know, I think that we're learning how to play with each other. You know, you had some different lineups on the floor tonight with Rashawn and Amir and, you know, Jared coming in, and we still found a way to navigate sort of our structure and stay organized. And I think that, you know, the development of our guys, I respect the work that they have put in. There are lots of people in that locker room that are getting better and playing certainly better together as a team.
The unselfishness, extra pass, and all the passing, where was that born? You know, is it training camp? Where does it start?
When I first got the job, I hope it started then. You know, there wasn't any mystery of how we wanted to play. And you've heard me say since we've all met, the pass is king. It's the single thing, in my opinion, that can erode a locker room, erode sort of the fabric of a team, because it creeps into defense as much as it is blatant in offense. You know, when you don't share the ball, it's a feeling that we all feel in the locker room. They play the game, they feel it deeper than we do. And so the pass is king. We've said it since we all met, you know, 4.5 years ago, whenever that was. And we just glorify it in our video room, in our coaches' meetings, in practice. We show it on tape. We talk about the assists. We talk about we score. And if you ask those guys, every single game that we play, that's the lead up, you know, before the game. It's we score. How do we score? And the pass is king.
Did you have your wonders or your questions the first 2 minutes, looking at Joel, seeing him turn a couple over there? Were you wondering about him at that point?
Completely. You know, he fatigued quickly. It reminds me of when you go to Utah or Denver, that the altitude sort of fatigue does exist, but then they just get through it. You know, initially, you sub at times too early, and it's not true. All they need is a second wind. You just got to bite your lip and let them play for about 1.5 minutes more, and then they get going. And I was mindful of trying to draw that parallel. Might he just get going? Because he's been in a bed all day. He missed shoot around. He was clearly sick, and he looked at and you know how he sounded, or he sounded sick as you listened to him. And I thought as the game moved forward, you know, he got going too. But at the start, for sure, like you're like, wow, this is going to be a long night for Joe.
Specifically, I know you talked about both of your point guards, but TJ, I mean, when you think back to, you know, what he did is, you know, I'm not trying to say it's not surprising, but he kind of did it before when you threw him out there last year. Yeah. You know, and can you just talk about that?
I think that, you know, when I learned that Ben was not going to play, you know, you start sort of reshuffling the deck of what does that mean structurally, offense, defense, substitution patterns, all that. And there was a comfort level, to your point, that I had, because he held that position all, you know, last year, or the large majority of last year. And he had been there and done that. And he's one of these players that you don't really sense fatigue much, even though he plays with such a high motor. And so the confidence level that I had in him, because of last year's experience together, was important, and it was real. You know, like you weren't guessing. You'd seen him do stuff like this in the past, and tonight he was exceptional.
What is it about the dynamic between TJ and JJ that it worked so well tonight?
I mean, they both have high motives. You know, JJ, that's the thing that I felt when we had the game plan against him. You knew he was a shooter. Everybody gets that. But lots of people don't understand the movement that has happened, that takes place prior to him getting shots. He is just constantly moving. And TJ is constantly moving. And the sort of partnership and TJ's awareness of where he is as JJ's keeping defenders off balance by back cutting their head, the blind defenders we call them, and, you know, floor spots on penetration, the knowledge of where we want people when the ball is driven from certain spots, that has grown into a real partnership.
What did you think about having two bigs on the floor at the same time? Did you like what you saw?
I did. I liked it. You know, I thought it looked good. I think that Rashawn's mobility, you know, and did a good job on Gordon. I think that we're a little bit naked in relation to a comfort level structurally. You know, you sort of jam in two bigs, and when you go from the side out of bounds or after a free throw, or you're like trying to, you know, send something on a court that's more of a nuance and a wrinkle to an existing play, I got to keep the package clean and simple, and we did. And I thought that those two guys were really good together, and I didn't feel like we missed a beat. You know, I thought that Rashawn, it was good to see him run around again.
You speak specifically about what TJ does well offensively. He has a sneaky offensive game, and that little quick shot left that he got from Shipley's with at the rim. You spoke about awareness. Obviously, he's a gym rat. But who do you talk about his offensive skills?
He's got a like 90 mile an hour to 10 to slow people down to take off, like part of his game that lets him sort of tightrope along a baseline a lot. And it's a hesitation in a burst of speed that catches people off guard. And I don't know if people realize how physical he actually is. You know, it's not like he's small and it's not like he's thin. You know, he's got a mind to back his kind of body, like he's tough. And, you know, his quickness is deceptive. It's really deceptive. And I think that he can keep defensive players off balance because it's like a wide-eyed game. He can sell it with his eyes and his shoulders, and defense relax, and bam, you know, he takes off. He can lift defensive players out of their stance with those types of, you know, skills and I think body language things. And his herky-jerky approach, I think, is born out of some of those tendencies.
Last question. James and Cleveland are here Monday. Obviously, there are going to be comparisons between Ben Simmons and LeBron James, albeit so early in his career. But I don't think this team, given the challenge of defending recent conference champs coming in.
I mean, this team that we have is fearless in many areas. They don't get too starstruck too easy, and you know, we got jumped by a great Golden State team in the second half, but it wasn't like we were coming out looking for autographs. We came out and we played, and you know, Cleveland is going to come in. And it's going to be amazing for the building. Like, this building is wild. How about our fans? Are you kidding me? And like, I can't even at times talk to my coaching staff and they're, you know, a foot from me. It's fantastic. What a great thing for our city. And to reload and, you know, redeliver the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron and crew. They have a heck of a team. Is just great for the city, and I think timely for us. We're playing good basketball. We look forward to seeing them.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.